I really wanted to ask you this question, and this is really interesting while I'll ponder on this very question, and then I'll come to Alyssa. There's this one thing that when I see product managers, and when you are very, very passionate about something, really want to solve problems, there's a benchmark that you set about the work that you do. But once you manage a team, right, that shipping quality might not be the same because it is you're delegating those tasks across. And there is always this mismatch where, like, a lot of times when I go to my clients and they essentially see me and Shravan is driving this across, there is a certain level of throughput that I consider for myself from a business and a product perspective, but that doesn't necessarily translate in the team. How do you essentially bridge that gap? Because that is something very hurtful to a super passionate or super that kind of a person. How do you bridge that gap that the system that you've designed also ships the throughput or threshold of quality that you expect yourself as a great operator to do? Yeah.
I'm going to say something pretty controversial, which is I think this tension between speed and quality is a fake thing made up to make people's jobs easier. Like, look, I really do believe doing a crummy job takes just about as much time as doing a good job. If we're all really like writing bad code takes just as much time. I promise I've written lots of bad code as it takes to write good code. But the order in which you do things, the system is so like, I kind of fundamentally disagree with this tension between speed and quality, because if you look at something like chat PRD, we go incredibly fast. Not everything works, but I would say by and far, Elisa, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I think our customers think we've built a high quality, valuable product. And we 100% bias towards speed over perfection. And so I think what you're really hitting on is less about the output of quality versus speed. It's really about the input of craft versus speed. And craftspeople, sorry, they don't really like working for me. Craftspeople really do care about there is a right way to do product discovery. There is a right way to do product design. There is a right way to do product management. There is a right way to do software engineering. And if you are not doing that the right way every time, it feels really like personally upsetting. And what I think you need to know, as somebody who actually, I really value craft, and I'm actually quite impressed with people who can come with care and intention around their craft and can do amazing, high quality, high detail work, I would say, versus high quality, high detail work versus high quality work. What I would say is you have to calibrate when that's appropriate. Just like I have to calibrate when it's appropriate to just like tell my team to ship something fast. I have to calibrate when appropriate, and folks need to calibrate when appropriate. And so again, it's just like a portfolio of how you operate. Just like I can't operate up here all the time and down here all the time. I have to kind of span in the middle. As a craftsperson, sometimes there's something, or you have the time, or you have the luxury to do the deep thinking, the deep work, the detailed discovery. And sometimes you just need to like make a bet, move on with your life and get it done. And what I would suggest is, if you're feeling that tension, really keep the intellectual honesty about if one way is better than the other. Because at the end of the day, I will tell you, I've shipped a lot of product. I've been in product a long time. The things that I've shipped the fastest with the least thought in many instances have done way better than the things that like I swirled for 3 months on and then spent 9 months building. Like, there is not a direct proportionate outcome to your inputs. And I think people really want to believe there is, because product managers want certainty on the success of their products. And it just like, I don't think they're highly correlated. And so what you need to figure out is like, what is appropriate internally, externally with customers, and do what is maximally efficient as opposed to what is textbook right.
Makes sense. That's super cool to hear. And so taking it from there, since you have been shipping products for ChatPRD, I've seen features come in very recently, since I was very fortunate to have premium access over there. So I was able to use that. I really want to ask this, and this is the question specifically for Alyssa, that I want to understand that how do you essentially think of scaling this across, right? What are those strategies? How are you reaching out to your potential customers? And deep down, and this the question that I would want to kind of ask, the second level question is, what is the vision for this? Because one of the things that we have realized, and this is something that people keep asking me again and again in a lot of places, how does AI affect the landscape of product management in terms of their quality of work, what they're shipping across? Does it help in discovery? Does it do something else? So I think that's the deeper question, which I would essentially would want to ask both of you. But starting off with Alyssa, how do you think about growth of ChatPRD, and what essentially is the ideal persona for you, and why do you essentially want to scale this across, and how does it help product managers?
Yeah. My strategy for growing PRD is like Clara was doing such a phenomenal job of growing it on her own. My job is to not get in her way and just essentially step on the gas for all the things Clara was already doing. So, in a way, my job is kind of easy because already Chat PRD has grown tremendously just in the last few months, even. And Claire is she's very authentic in her posts and what she shares online, which I think draws a lot of people in. She's also done a great job of, speaking with Lenny and with Akash and recently at Config, right? Like her voice is getting out there to a lot of people. And so my role is to just expand that even further. So make sure that people are seeing all that information in their weekly emails that they get from ChatPRD, that we're sharing everything on socials. Claire and I work together to build a community where we're sharing all this information and increasing the visibility of the product. And so, just trying to get the visibility out there has been one of my big goals. And then we really value just being extremely close with our customers. So we talk with our customers constantly in our community. I talk with them all day in support chats and via emails. And that informs so much of what we build. And I think, people give ideas and then they see those ideas actually get built, and that draws them in even more. And Claire is just brilliant at doing a lot of lean experimentation too in the product. So, we'll get insights from someone about an idea, something that should be built, and she'll do like a very quick lean experiment in the product to see if people are interested in it. We get feedback on it, we iterate on it. And it becomes something that's incredibly valuable. So yeah, my role in growth is to like get out of the way and just like amplify everything that's already been done. I know the second part of your question was how we see like this impacting product managers too.
Yeah.
I'll speak to it lightly. I know, Claire, like I want to hear your take on like the vision and AI for product managers. But in my perspective, like product managers have a lot of responsibilities on their plate. I think with AI, a lot of the tasks where product managers have to be like heads down, writing, almost like in focus mode, but like you can just be playing music, kind of thoughtlessly writing things down. I think that's a lot of where AI will come in and kind of take on that responsibility. Like you look at ChatPRD and you can get phenomenal drafts of documents, not just PRDs now, but so many different types of product documents. And you don't have to spend 2 hours heads down just creating a draft, right? Same with like writing tickets or something like that, or release notes, right? Like those are the types of things that I think AI will really help with. But that's not the whole job of a product manager. Like there's so much that goes into just like thinking of the product ideas, collaborating with your partners in the organization, ingesting information from different parts of the market or different parts of the company, evangelizing your idea, convincing people to buy into it, and then just like being scrappy, doing what it takes to get things over the finish line. Like product managers have to get creative. They have to understand people, know what motivates people. And those are things that I think it's a little bit harder for AI to replace inherently. Claire, I want your take.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, what I think is that I just gave a talk at Config on this topic, somewhat what I think about the future of product management. You can watch it; it's on YouTube on the Config channel. And really, I see basically a couple things. One, product managers are just going to be asked to do more. Everybody's going to be asked to do more. Product managers are going to be asked to do more. And yesterday, I was looking at our top ChatPRD users, and given this product has only been live for about 6 months. And I was looking at our top user who only signed up at the end of April, so 3 months. They made 193 PRDs.
Wow.
So, like, if you can define 193 features, whether small, whether big, I have 297, but I do a lot of test ones. Elisa, you're not quite up on, you're actually number 10 on the leaderboard. So you're getting there, but not quite. But 200 product thoughts, product ideas, product definition in 3 months. Think how much, innovation that can generate and how much broader and bigger your thinking can get as a product manager when you have this co-pilot. So I really think just the tool set is changing and the toolkit is changing. And so the expectations are changing. And so part of the reason why, honestly, the reason why I built Chat PRD is, as I said in my talk, I'd rather disrupt myself than be disrupted. I would rather be on the bleeding edge of what it's like to be an AI-enabled product manager, AI-enabled product leader, understand how these tools can accelerate things, understand how these tools can change things, and then build organizations or careers around this net new framework, than be caught on my heels one day when, job postings go away and they say, actually, you're not a chief people officer of people, you're a chief people officer of a bunch of agents. How do you do that? I'm like, I know how to do that. So I do think like the pace is changing, the tool set's changing. And I'm an optimist. What I really think is this is like a tool, right? Yeah. I don't know. I'm old enough to know, like, we didn't used to have Slack and we still got stuff done as companies.
Yeah.
Like we did. And, I didn't used to have these like no code, low code tools and we still built stuff. And so I just think even though the toolkit changes and the ergonomics of how you work changes, doesn't mean you can't add fundamental value to the pursuit of creativity and business outcomes. And so I really think this can be a platform to accelerate impact. And that's how I think about it. And you see this in sort of industry reports too. Companies are embracing AI not to get rid of headcount, but actually to maximize the throughput of that investment. And so, I just think about what in the stack of Chat PRD could we build to make that possible? And then the other thing that I don't think folks give enough attention to is not every team is lucky enough to have as many product managers as they need or product manager at all. Like we work with a lot of founders who have engineers on their team and the founder's trying to be the product manager and they've never done it before. Or we have engineers that work on teams that don't have PMs. For example, I have a couple teams at my company at Launch Darkly, like infrastructure teams, right? Like they don't have a product manager, but they have a roadmap and they've got stuff they got to get done and it has to be mapped to customer needs and they need a way to articulate that. This is an on-demand way to give teams the things and the structure that they need where they might not have the skills themselves.
That's so